MSNBC gets it wrong again. David Frum gets it wrong again. They go after Fox News also. Welcome to John Mike Keene. I'm going to straighten all this out for you. It all started with MSNBC invited David Frum on. They didn't realize that he would not just make fun of Pete Hegseth for what he claims is a drinking problem, but he went after all of Fox News, which in the political sphere on TV, Fox News is number one.
Just given what one sees on camera, if you're too drunk for Fox News, you're very, very drunk indeed.
I've known a lot of heavy drinkers.
Whether it's, well, it's the first bill that protect our assault, our bill.
And I'm pretty sure there would be exactly as many heavy drinkers at MSNBC as there would be at Fox News.
Before we go to break, a little bit earlier in this block, there was a comment made about Fox News in our coverage about Pete Hegseth and the growing number of allegations about his behavior over the years and possible addiction to alcohol or issues with alcohol. The comment was a little too flippant for this moment that we're in.
She's upset that he implied that Fox News was a place for drunks. She doesn't give a flying rip about these allegations that Pete Hegseth is some kind of a drunk.
Never have I ever, never have I ever. Okay. Another shot coming up in 30 minutes, folks. Oh my God. Never have I ever, what is the next one? Spent a whole day in bed. I mean, in the day, years ago.
By the way, these are allegations, not proven. There are lots of people who actually, eyewitnesses who work with Pete Hegseth, who say these things are exaggerated. This is a giant hit piece on him. Even if Pete Hegseth was a slobbering drunk on the air, his observations would be more cogent and sober than anyone on Morning Joe. I wish Morning Joe had the excuse that they were all drunk on bourbon, wild turkey, whiskey.
We just want to make that comment as well. We want to make that clear. We have differences in coverage with Fox News, and that's a good debate that we should have often.
Yes, you do have different coverage than Fox News, in that about 10 times more people watch Fox News' coverage than your terrible coverage.
But right now, I just want to say there's a lot of good people that work at Fox News who care about Pete Hegseth, and we'll want to leave it at that.
There are lots of good people that work at Fox News. This is like, I have lots of fine black friends. There's lots of good people over at Fox. Oh, I thought Fox News was the devil. Now, here's the head of NBC, the NBC News Network, doing coverage, trying to avoid a fight with Fox News. Richard Haddock. Joe and Mika have consistently expressed their strong reservations and perspectives regarding Pete Hegseth's nomination from the very beginning, and the stance remains unchanged. We would have responded in the same manner regardless of when these comments were made or what news organization was referenced. We have great respect for David Frum. They shouldn't. That's the guy that made the original comment. And his contributions. He's a valued member of the Morning Joe family. David Frum starts moving his yap over at The Atlantic. This is an article he wrote in response to that. The sound of fear on the air. So he's just calling out MSNBC for being afraid. It is an ominous sign that Morning Joe felt that it had to apologize for something I said. That's David Frum. This morning, I had an unsettling experience. I was invited onto MSNBC's Morning Joe to talk from a studio in Washington, D.C. about an article I'd written on Trump's approach to foreign policy. Before getting to the article, I was asked about the nomination of Pete Hegseth as Secretary of Defense, specifically about an NBC News report that his heavy drinking worried colleagues at Fox News and at the veterans organizations he'd headed. In parentheses, A spokesman for the Trump transition team told NBC, these disgusting allegations are completely unfounded and false, and anyone peddling these defamatory lies to score political cheap shots is sickening. I answered by reminding viewers of some history. Here's Frum again. In 1989, President George H.W. Bush nominated John Tower, senator from Texas, for Secretary of Defense. Okay, he got exposed for getting too drunk. John Tower did back in 1989. He was known to drink too much and start getting handsy with the ladies. So he got passed up for Secretary of Defense. Now, I only want to make this point that bringing this correct allegation up from 1989, which Frum brings up, now that's back when investigations were real, allegations were real, they were not necessarily politicized. To compare this to what's happening with Pete Hegseth is a crime of journalism by David Frum. That's why he's a fraud. I don't care about calling Fox News a bunch of drunks. I do care about saying this about Pete Hegseth and somehow saying that he is likened to that in today's political climate, when we know that Democrats and even some rhinos in government would 100% make up any allegation they wanted against Pete Hegseth, just like they made up allegations against Trump. They will run with allegations, and then if it's an allegation of someone they like, it will magically go away. I'm John Mike Keane.